Hi, and thanks for watching this video. The person who shared this video with you wanted to share some information with you that is changing and potentially saving women's lives. And my name is Nikita Maxey, and it's my privilege to introduce you to Reign Premium Sanitary Napkins. And what we're doing here is I'm going to introduce you to the campaign that we're promoting and the products, again, that are changing women's lives and women are switching to every single day. And the absolute best way for me to help you understand what it is we're doing here and what it is we're sharing with women is to do a side-by-side demonstration. Or side-by-side comparison. And so what I have here is a store-bought pad. This is a leading competitor, and I'm not going to use their name. We're just going to call this Exhibit A. And this is the most popular and most recognized brand of sanitary napkins in the store. And then this is a Reign Premium Sanitary Napkin. And so what we're going to do as we do our comparison is I'm going to point out a couple of things. One, I want to point out that this is a brand new pad. It hasn't been opened, but what I want to show you is that there are pockets in this. And the reason why there are pockets in here is because it needs to breathe. You see, they use petrochemicals in their products. And what that means is it's the same grade adhesive that they use on duct tape. And the reason why they need the holes and the pockets is because they need it to breathe so that it doesn't balloon up and burst. They need the fumes to be able to escape from the packaging. And so what we're going to do is we're going to lay Exhibit A right here in front of you. We're going to lay it out flat. And then also another thing that I'm going to point out is when it comes to the store-bought pads, they have a little sticker on them that tells you how long it's supposed to hold. Now, this says it's a 10-hour protection pad. Now, it's not going to take 10 hours to do this demonstration, but I just want to make sure we make a note of that. Now, when it comes to what we're introducing you to, it's the Reign Premium Sanitary Napkin. And as I open it, this is also brand new and it hasn't been opened. Now, what I want to do now is point out a couple of things. One, it is extremely thin and it's not a big, bulky, diaper-like pad from what you get in the stores. Another thing is it's completely sealed. So I'll show you a few angles here so that you'll see that there is no openings, there's no pockets, and there's no room for anything to go into or get into the pad. Our belief is that the only person that should be touching the pad is the woman who's going to be using them. That's why it's completely sealed. And we're using natural products, so there's no need to have pockets for fumes to escape. And so we're going to take this one out and we're going to place it right next to the store-bought pad. So we're going to take off the back here and we're going to lay it out flat right next to the store-bought pad. So we have Exhibit A here and we're going to lay it next to, or we have Exhibit A and then we have the Reign Premium Sanitary Napkin. So for size comparison here, here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to lift up my board so that you can see we have big, bulky, diaper-like pad, which women are used to wearing. And then what we're introducing you to, which is the Reign Premium Sanitary Napkin. So there is a significant size difference when it comes to the two pads. Now, another thing that we like to point out when we do these demonstrations is, I wish you were here so you could feel it, but when we rub our hands on the store-bought pad, it's rough, it's abrasive, and the reason why is because it's rayon. It's a synthetic plastic that's not designed to go up against the most sensitive part of your body. And then when we rub our hand on the Reign Premium Sanitary Napkin, it's soft, it's comfortable, because what we have is a cotton blend for the first layer of our pad. Many women tell us that they forget that they're wearing their pads because they're so comfortable. And that's the main difference that we want to point out in the first part of this demonstration. Now, when it comes to a woman or a young girl who's on their cycle or during that phase of their life, we've been told by OBGYNs and medical professionals and gynecologists that when a woman is experiencing her feminine flow or on her cycle, she's going to give off between changes up to or between 15 to 50 milliliters of fluid or of their feminine flow on a given day. And so what we've done is I've pre-filled 2 measuring cups. They both have 50 milliliters of water. And so what we're gonna do in this demonstration is we're gonna take this first 50 milliliters and we're gonna pour it on the store-bought pad. We're going to simulate a full day of feminine flow. And so I'm gonna pour it and hopefully not get it all on the table. So we've poured this one out. And then we're gonna do the exact same thing to the Reign Premium Sanitary Napkins. And so I'm just gonna take my time, try not to get it all over the table. And another thing that I want to point out that I didn't mention is on ours, we have what are called 3D leak guard suspension. This was designed so that women wouldn't have to deal with the leaks and the accidents that come along with a woman when she's on her cycle. And so that's something that we wanted to do. Now, I know this is a lot of fluid to be going on the pad at once, but again, we want to demonstrate and simulate a full day of feminine flow. And while we do this, there's a specific reason why we're doing this. When it comes to women who are in this stage of their life, they're either in school or they're at work. And so what we wanted to do was we wanted to address a problem that women are having to face. So when it comes to women who are on their cycles, yes, they're dealing with things like migraines, back pains, abdominal pains, and even leg pains. And so there's so many different issues that come up when a woman is on her cycle that I'm sure you're familiar with. But what we've learned is that there are women who are suffering in silence, okay? There are women who are bleeding 10 days, 15 days, 20 days out of the month, and they're not saying anything about it. And so that's what we mean when we talk about we want to break the silence, or we want to end the silent suffering. And so women are dealing with issues that they don't know are uncommon or unusual, because we found that there are women who are not talking to their significant others. They're not even talking to their doctors, so they don't know what's going on with their body and that it's unusual. And so we want to address that topic, and we want to educate women. We want to educate women about the potential dangers and harmful ingredients that are in the store-bought products. And then we also want to educate men like myself who didn't want to have anything to do with the conversation of a woman's cycle or a period. When it comes to me as a man, I used to be, okay, she's on her cycle, she needs to go over there, come back when she's done. That's insensitive, that's rude. And so getting too excited. What we're doing is we're introducing the Justice for My Jewel campaign, where we're educating women, parents, and everyone who has a young girl or woman in their life who needs to know about the Reign products. And then also educate men who are like myself, who used to be ignorant, who don't understand anything other than there's blood involved, there's pain involved, mood swings and changes. And so that's what we're doing. We're introducing women to the Justice for My Jewel campaign. And in this and doing our research, we found that the number one issue that women are having to deal with when it comes to their pads and the products that they're using is that they're wet, they're uncomfortable. And so that's why we poured the 50 milliliters of water on the pads. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a red napkin here, and I got a red napkin because we're on camera and you'll be able to see the effects better. So I'm gonna take the napkin and place it on the store-bought pad, and then I'm gonna take another napkin and I'm gonna place it on the Reign Premium Sanitary Napkin. And what I'm gonna do, just like what I simulated a full day of feminine flow, I'm gonna simulate a woman sitting on the store-bought pad. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna take my left hand here and I'm going to put some pressure. I'm gonna apply some pressure and apply some pressure. And as I do this, we get the result that we would expect. We just poured 50 milliliters of water on this pad and the napkin came up soaked. Now, we agreed and we talked about how this was a 10-hour protection pad, but it didn't even last for 2 minutes. So this is what women are dealing with. Now I'm gonna put this one down and I'm gonna take my right hand, it's completely dry. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put some pressure and more pressure. In fact, stand up, put some more pressure. And when we pull up the napkin, it's completely dry. There's no water. There's no liquid on the napkin. It's completely dry. And This is the first major difference when it comes to the store-bought products and then the Reign Premium Sanitary Napkins. It just makes sense, ladies and fellas who have women in your life, that if you had to choose a product, wouldn't you want to be dry and comfortable instead of wet and irritable? So as a man, I understand women don't want to deal with this. They want to experience dry and they want to be comfortable. And so that's the first major difference when it comes to the products. And so we're going to take these napkins and we're going to move them out of the way. And we're going to take it a step further. We're going to dissect the products because most women have never thought about what's in their pad. And so what we're going to do is we're going to take this a step further. As we educate people about what's going on with the store-bought pads and store-bought products, we like to make sure that we dissect the products and go through it and help women understand what's in their pads. So I'm going to take apart these pads here and help you understand that the FDA does not require manufacturers to disclose the ingredients that are in their products. And so that's one of the reasons why we're sharing this with women, because they need to know what's going on in their body and essentially in their body. So as we do this, we're going to take off and dissect their products. So I'm going to take off their top layer here. And what you'll see is they only have a few layers to their product. So I'm going to take it off. I'm going to peel it back like this. And as we move into the second part of the demonstration, I have two pre-filled cups. One cup has a little water in it, and then you have another cup that is essentially half full. And so what we're going to do is I'm going to move these here so that they can stay in your view. And what we're going to do is we're going to take out their absorption system, or their quote unquote absorption system. And we're going to unroll this here. I'm going to pull up as much as I can. And what we like to do whenever we do these demonstrations is we like to ask, okay, what do you think this is? It's white, it's soft. 99% of people who we ask this say that this is cotton, but that's not true. What this is recycled materials from the landfill. And by recycled materials, it's trash. It's recycled newspapers, magazines, and wood pulp fibers. And so that's what this is. It's white because it goes through a very, very fine shredding process, and then they put it through an 8-step bleaching process. And that's how you get it to come out white like this. And so what we're going to do is, again, we're going to take this first, you know what? Let's do this. We're going to take the first one and we're going to put this in the water for our absorption test. And then we're going to do the exact same thing with the Reign product. Now, as I pull this apart, I want to explain that these pads were, one, made by women and for women, and they're made and designed specifically to help women have the best experience possible. And so what we like to say is that this is the Rolls Royce of feminine products. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my time and unroll our absorption system. And we're going to take this out. And instead of using trash, wood pulp fibers, newspapers, and magazines, what we're using is a plant-based polymer. And so we're going to take this and we're going to put it in the cup that we agreed had the most water in it. And we're going to leave it in view. We're going to put it right here. And what we're going to do is we're going to look at the pads. Again, we dissected them. So I'm going to take off their first layer. Again, this first layer is nothing more than synthetic plastic. And what I want to do is, I hope you can hear this. Cotton doesn't sound like that. This is rayon. This is what's causing yeast infections. This is what's causing irritation, vaginal rawness. And as you can see, this blue design on here is nothing more than ink on a piece of plastic. And the danger behind that is when you have ink on a piece of plastic touching the most sensitive part and most absorbent part of a woman's body, what happens when that ink gets wet is it runs. And essentially it's going back into the bloodstream. And so we don't want that happening when it comes to a woman when she's on her feminine flow. And then when we look at I'll move this strip here. When we look at our top layer, I want to point out something. What you'll see is when I hold it up close is there are holes in it. The reason why is because it's breathable. We designed these to be breathable from the top to the bottom. And that's why we have, instead of synthetic plastic, we have a cotton blend. In fact, it's easily torn apart because it's natural and it's plant-based. And so we want people to understand these were designed to give our women the absolute best experience possible. And so we're going to move that to the side. And what we've done here is we have taken the absorption systems and we've put them in the water. And so let's do this. Put them right there in front of you. Now, what I want to show you is that, one, the water, if you can look closely, has started to become discolored. And when I lift this up, you'll see that the water is coming out and it's dripping out. Now, I could essentially get all of this water back out. And the reason why I'm doing this is to demonstrate the reason why this water is being discolored is because when you use chlorine to bleach something and whiten something, what happens is it gives off a chemical called dioxin. And I don't want you to take my word for it. I want you to do your own research. Research dioxin. Dioxin is a chemical that is 10 times more dangerous than cyanide, and it's 100 times worse than arsenic. The reason why I bring that up is, bottom line is, it's a poison, and there are no safe levels of human consumption of dioxin. And so that's what's going on in our absorption system here with the store-bought pad. And then when it comes to the pad let's do this. We put a little water in this cup. We agreed that this had the least amount of water in it, and it didn't hold up. There's still water in the cup. Now we're going to move to the Reign Premium Sanitary Napkin and look at the absorption system. I can turn it sideways and you can't get a drop out of it. Now, that's again because we use a plant-based polymer. But I want to take it a step further. Instead of just turning it sideways, we pulled this one up. I'm literally going to turn it upside down. And we've just turned a liquid into a gel. And so that's what we get when we look at the Reign Premium Sanitary Napkins. You have trash from the landfill and plant-based polymer, the same type of material that's used in natural baby diapers. Again, this was designed to give our women the absolute best experience possible. And again, it just makes sense. Wouldn't you want to use something that is designed to keep you safe and comfortable, or would you want to use trash that's not doing what it's supposed to do? So we're going to move these out of the way. And then we're going to look at the bottom layer of the pad. When we pull this up, what you're going to see is it's stretchy. It's nothing more than a trash bag. And when you look at this and you think about they're putting trash from the landfill, a woman's body temperature is going to go up during that time of the month. So her body is running hotter than normal. You got trash, and then from the woman, you have urine in some cases, you have blood, you have clots, and there's no breathability. Again, we talked about how it's just a trash bag. There's no breathability. The woman is taking the brunt of what's going on down there, and that is a recipe for disaster. That's where the yeast infections are coming in. That's where the UTIs or urinary tract infections are coming from, because they're sitting on trash and their body is not designed to handle that kind of attack from those types of materials. And then when we look at ours, we're going to look at our bottom layer. In fact, I'm going to take up one more layer before we get to the bottom layer. And it's just another layer of a cotton blend that's designed to keep our polymer in place. Instead of it being plastic or trash, again, it's soft cotton designed to help a woman stay dry and comfortable during that time of the month. Now, we're going to pull up the bottom layer. And as we do that, I'm going to hold this up so you can see the lines that are going from left to right. And what those are microfiber holes. Again, this is to make sure that the pad is completely breathable so that there's no buildup of unnecessary bacteria, and the woman's body isn't taking the brunt of what's going on when it comes to the pad. And so instead of it being stretchy like the store-bought pad, this is again plant-based and safe for you, and it's safe for the environment. And so we want people to understand that, again, we took our time to put these together to make sure that the women who wear these products will have the absolute best experience possible. So with that out of the way, we're gonna move to the last part of our demonstration, and I'm gonna move these pieces out. And so we could have stopped right there and left the pads at being good, but we're gonna take it a step further and show you why our pads are absolutely phenomenal. And the reason why I say that is because what we have in these pads is a strip it's a strip that is 100% algae, and it's infused with graphene material, and it's Nobel Prize winning material. And in fact, what I have here, and again, I don't want you to take my word for it. What I have here are 2 books, third-party validation. I want you to look up graphene, the uses of graphene and the medical uses of graphene. When it comes to graphene, it was discovered, it's a carbon-based material. It was discovered in 2004, and the gentleman who discovered it was awarded the Nobel Prize in 2010. And so when it comes to graphene, this is something that is being called the next wonder material. Again, don't take my word for it. Do your own research, look up graphene. And what we're gonna do is demonstrate what's helping our women not only stop experiencing cramping, but also getting rid of odor and the aroma that comes from being on your cycle. So what I have and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the strip here, and what I'm gonna do is take a little bit of water, and I'm gonna completely soak this graphene strip, because what we're gonna demonstrate next is how our graphene contains natural vibrational energy. And whenever you see what I'm about to do, people always, and I want you to see that it's soaking wet, it's dripping water, because people misunderstand energy and electricity. Natural vibrational energy is found near dams whenever they're used to generate energy, windmills, and then also solar panels. And when it comes to electricity, that is completely different. I like to joke and say that comes from TXU and Reliant. And so what I've done is I've wetted this graphene strip, and what I have here is a 7-watt LED light bulb. This is not the same type of 40-watt or 60-watt light bulb that you would use to light a room. This is used for emergency purposes, and it's designed to detect low energy. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this light bulb out, and remember, we just wet this strip. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the light bulb and I'm going to put it on the strip. And the strip is designed to give off these positive electrons or natural vibrational energy. And anytime this light bulb senses energy, it's going to illuminate. And so what I'm gonna do is put this on the light bulb, and you see that it's lighting up. It's nothing more than natural vibrational energy doing its job. And so as long as the strip is touching the light bulb will light up. This is the reason why women by the thousands and now hundreds of thousands are telling us that they're no longer experiencing cramps, because what the natural vibrational energy is going to do, I'm just going to highlight 2 things. One, it's going to relax the uterus and help with the cramping. It's going to reduce the inflammation. And so that's what's happening with this vibrational energy that's in this strip. And that's why you see the light bulb that's lit up. So I wanted to demonstrate the energy that's in the pad or in the graphene. And then next, what we're gonna do is demonstrate the purification properties of the graphene. And so what I have here is I have a white piece of cloth to help me demonstrate the next part of our demonstration. And so what I have here is pre-filled glass, and I have some water in it. And then I also have some iodine. That's right, I have some iodine. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to take this iodine, try not to get it all over everything, and I'm gonna put some drops in the water. Several drops, in fact. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's the entire dropper full. And we're gonna put this back in the bottle because I don't wanna waste this everywhere. And the reason why I want to swirl it around here so that you can see there is a brownish, orangish, yellowish tint. And don't quote me because people always say I don't know my colors, but we can agree that the water is no longer clear. In fact, I wore a white shirt so that you can see that. So the water is no longer clear. So we're gonna put this here and we're gonna take the same strip, same type of strip, the graphene strip, and we're gonna put it in the glass. Now, as we put it in here, it's gonna demonstrate the purification properties. Now, don't blink because if you blink, you'll miss it. So right here in front of your eyes, you'll see the water is changing. It's going from colored to clear. Now, that's because of the natural vibrational energy in the graphene strip. It's a 99.9% bacteria killer, and that's what's happening whenever you have it against the woman's body. It's going to kill the bacteria. And this is the reason why we have women who are telling us two things. One, their cramps are significantly reduced or completely eliminated due to the natural vibrational energy. And then when it comes to the aroma, the odor that comes with a woman during that time of the month, that it's also being significantly reduced or completely eliminated. And so that's why I wanted to demonstrate the iodine being purified by the graphene. Now, that concludes our demonstration. And what I want to do as we close is I want to share with you that we have 5 different variations of our pads. Now, we have our panty liners. We're going to start there. We have our thinnest product, our panty liners that do not have wings. So when it comes to our panty liners, we have women who wear these every single day because let's just be honest. Women have shared that whenever you cough, you laugh too hard, or you sneeze, you need that extra protection. And so that's why we have our panty liners. And then we have some extra protection. We have our panty liners with wings. And so this is just to give you a little bit more added protection. So we have our panty liners without wings and then with wings. And then we have 3 variations of our pads. So this is our moderate flow for our light flow. And this is what I used for our demonstration, the smallest pad that we have. And then we have our heavy flow that whenever our women have a heavier flow, they can go to heavy. So we have our moderate, our heavy, and then we have our super heavy. And so we have 3 variations of the pads. Then we have 2 variations of the panty liners. And what I want you to do is I want you to get back with the person who shared this video with you. If they emailed you, reply to the email. If they called you or text you, get back with them. Or if they sent you a message on social media, reply to them and let them know that you want to make the switch to Reign Premium Sanitary Napkins. Again, my name is Nikita Maxey, and it's been my privilege to introduce you to Reign Premium Sanitary Napkins. I'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.